Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff.
Hi everyone, welcome to Fandom Family Chats. I'm Shelby.
I'm Eve.
I'm Amanda.
And today we're going to be talking about Station 19, Season 5, Episode 14, and Grey's Anatomy, Season 18, Episode 14. So we start out with something we've been waiting for on Station 19.
Beckett had it coming.
Oh man, who saw that coming? He had to have seen that coming.
He had to have, because how else would his pee test be clean?
Yeah, exactly.
He had to know it was coming. I mean, he may be evil, but he's not stupid.
No, I think that not Beckett. I think Sullivan should not have said a word to him, because I think that he was like, oh, he knew it was Sullivan. He knew.
Quite frankly, Sullivan should know better. Like, he's an addict. Shouldn't he have known better than to confront Beckett? Like, as an addict, he should know that Beckett could have, or he did. He should have known that Beckett was gonna do that.
Yeah.
Completely hide everything. So
Yeah, I mean, he definitely got tipped off. I'm sure that this isn't his first rodeo if he's an alcoholic.
And you guys, when Ross came in there and told Sullivan he's captain for a day, I almost fell over. I was like, are you serious?
Maya was so mad. I mean, I know we're going to talk about that later.
I know.
But I felt so bad for her.
I was shocked. I was like, no. What?
no, excuse you.
I
But
mean,
yeah, we'll talk more about that later. But I automatically went to Maya's face. I was like, she is not happy.
I know.
Do you think her making Sullivan the captain was due to their past, or do you think he actually deserved that?
I think she knows him and she can trust him. And I don't really think it's like she's doing it to get Sullivan or anything like that. I don't think that's the malice behind it.
I think she truly believes that at this point, Maya just is not worthy of being captain right now. I mean, I don't believe that, but I think that's where Ross's mindset is.
I do too. I completely agree with that. And I think it's just, I think she knows Sullivan. And so I think that she feels like she can trust him with it. And she can. I mean, he's not a bad captain.
I mean, we saw that in the parking garage. He did a lot better than what Beckett did last call.
You mean he held the map right?
Reading the map upside down? I mean, it
was a hand-drawn map, Eve.
He set the bar pretty low on that one. So, I mean... I could have done a better job after that one.
I liked all his excuses. Beckett, whenever the map, it was a hand-drawn map.
It's like, okay.
You were still holding it upside down.
Which a hand-drawn map, which you still read upside down.
I mean, even on a hand-drawn map, the basement isn't in the ceiling.
It's not?
Maybe it's one of those modern houses.
Or I don't know. I mean,
a factory or something, parking garage.
Or the attic is in the bottom and the basement's on the top.
So he pissed me off. Okay, he made me mad with the whole running drills thing. Like, he was obviously trying to get revenge, even though he knew that it was Sullivan. He was obviously trying to get revenge, and he literally made them do it until they got sick.
I know, poor Vic. With all the health issues she's had, and then he was making her do that, I honestly was getting kind of worried.
Yeah.
But I mean, if she said anything, then he would have been like, I guess she can't be a firefighter.
Well,
that's a really hard.
When she started vomiting, the first thing that ran through my head was, I wonder if she's still pregnant, but we saw her go through the whole miscarriage thing. So I think it was just too much.
Yeah, no, it was, I've thrown up from working out too hard. It's a thing.
And
you
And
can see.
we all know that. Yeah, we all know that he knew very well whose fault it was, and he was still torturing everyone. I was like, dude, why are you such a?
Because he's trying to get everybody to turn on Sullivan. He's mad at Sullivan, so he wants everybody to be mad at Sullivan.
Well, that's not how Station 19 works. So,
well, somebody informed Beckett then. I was so hoping that man would be out of there. And it came back, it's clean.
I was
like,
so
"Damn it."
hopeful when she came in. She said, "You're going to take a urine, give a urine sample." I was like, "Yes, finally!" But that was short lived.
Honestly, I saw the clean test coming. As soon as she handed him that cup, I feel like if he knew he would have failed, he would have fought a little bit harder. He didn't fight very hard. He kind of was like, this isn't right, but he took the cup and he went in there and he did it. Once he kind of didn't fight it, I was like, he's clean.
Yeah, my thing is too, I mean, she didn't want him there for the day or whatever. If that's really the case, they should have taken him to the hospital and made him get a blood test, because the blood test, it would have showed up. Like,
yeah, but they can drink off of, if they did a blood test, then alcohol would be in the system, even if he drank off of a shift, which, I mean, they're allowed to drink off shift. They're just trying to catch him drinking on shift. So they need his actual urine on shift to be able to see if it's in there or not. So that was because I had the same thought, like immediately I had the same thought. And I was like, oh, wait, no, that wouldn't work. You can't expect him to not drink at all.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think about that. So Sullivan finally tells Beckett that he's the one that tipped Ross off about it. Mm-hmm. I think there's going to be major consequences for that.
I do too. But Sullivan has Ross in his back pocket. So I don't think that anything too bad will happen to Sullivan. I don't think so. I think she'll make it some kind of way.
I don't know. We've seen how petty he can be.
He doesn't seem to have as much pull with Ross, though. So,
who, Beckett or Sullivan?
Beckett doesn't seem to have as much pull with Ross.
No, but Sullivan does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Beckett doesn't have any pull with her, but Sullivan does. So
yeah. So,
which is unfortunate for Maya.
Poor Maya, man. I felt so bad for Maya this week. She's just not catching.
What a sucker punch.
Oh.
She just can't catch a break. She's like, I just want to be captain again. How hard is this?
And she did not let anybody not figure out that she was mad. She made that very well known.
She's like, I am mad and everyone needs to know.
She even mouthed off to Sullivan on the call.
She did. And the way she grabbed Beckett's jacket and yanked it off that truck, I was like, ooh, I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, she's going to get in trouble, but I'm here for it.
Yeah. When she threw it on the floor, I was like, yeah, you might as well run it over too, because he doesn't deserve to be.
It's not like he needs it anymore.
Well, apparently he does.
Unfortunately, he does, but
yeah,
that's another story.
Oh, and on that call, can we talk about that call in Maya for a minute? Because she was a bad AA. SS.
Oh.
Bad ASSS. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I get it now.
I can't spell apparently today. But I didn't want to say the word. ASS. I know that word.
I got confused with the AA at the beginning.
I know.
Like, what does it have to do with AA?
Yeah, I was confused.
I got stuck.
No, but she was though. And then and Vic too. I mean, for her, because Ben was gonna go do the fire extinguisher part of it, and Vic's like, no, like don't prove them right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna get more into that soon too, but
yeah, after that, and also one funny part I don't want to skip over is her opening up that door. Imagine, what did she say? Imagine it's Ross or Beckett. I can't remember now.
Jack.
Jack said it, but who is he? I can't remember if he said. Imagine it being Beckett or Ross.
Ross.
Was it Ross? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause she's
because
mad at
that's who she's
Ross.
mad at. So yeah, that made me laugh. And she got it open then.
I love the fact that they have the lady firefighters and like they let them do a bunch of the like big stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, like what a role model. Like I know this isn't a kid's show or anything like that, but I mean, for them having, like them putting the females on there and having them play like such a big role in all of the fire stuff, like it just shows like women can do anything type of thing.
Oh yeah, it's very empowering.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of God, we have so many shows. What's it called? Chicago Fire.
Chicago Fire is fantastic about women in the fire academy fire force.
Yeah, especially
department.
like now they have one of the OG characters is really like moving up in the ranks, and I love it.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely, she's one of my favorites. But back to Station 19. We'll get off. We've gotten off on 911. We've gotten off on Chicago.
It's all related. They're all
of our fire shows go hand in hand.
They all go together.
Also, when they later got back to the station, I'm glad that Maya was able to put her big girl panties on and apologize, which I don't know if I could have been able to do that.
That takes a lot of I forget. I lost my train of thought, but that takes
Cojones?
a lot. Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, it takes a lot to apologize for behaving that way, especially when, at least I feel, she was in the right. Like she had every right to be angry.
Yeah.
But I mean, good
she
for
also
her
has to be professional.
Yeah, well, good for her being the bigger person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the apology was sincere too. It wasn't just because she had to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she was sincere about it and everything. It's like, oh, I would definitely be tossing sarcasm in there. Good for her.
So the other thing that happened with Maya this week, Jeanette was right about Jack being a sperm donor, I guess.
I know. I'm excited too. I mean, we don't know if they're doing it yet for sure, but
they seem to be leaning more and more towards it every episode. So
yeah.
Well, at the end, there was a text message that said that they wanted to talk to him at the end of shift about doing it.
I mean, we still have to see what he says. That's why I'm not 100% on it. Because I mean, he could have been joking when he offered. Or maybe he's getting shy. I don't know.
I'm here for it. I want him to be their sperm donor.
I'm here for it too. I'm all here for it. I mean, I feel actually a little bit better about it after hearing Maya and Karina's conversation to each other. Because I'm like, man, is it going to get messy? Karina doesn't love Jack. He's probably going to be not around, but he's going to be around. And with Maya and Jack's history, is that going to get messy? But after hearing Karina be like, I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't be worried about it. I was like, oh, okay. I won't be worried about it then.
Karina said, don't be worried about it. So let's not worry about it.
That girl can tell me to do anything and I would just listen to her.
But that baby will be around the firehouse too. So, because like you heard them talking about Ben's news, and they were all excited that Prue was going to be the firehouse baby. So like, if Karina and Maya have Jack's baby, like that's even more of a firehouse baby. I mean,
that's everybody's baby.
Yeah,
everybody's baby.
I feel like they'll definitely be around for sure.
Yep. Speaking of Ben and his big secret, man.
Who else loved Vic's reaction? She's like, we got Prue. We got
Prue. Like, shut up.
Yeah, and like I loved how he said that there's one condition that they aren't sure about. And she's like, but it's Prue, you have to do it.
Until they found out what it was.
I'm a little bit mad about that. If they make this man change occupations again,
I'm done.
can't make him change occupations again. This is already his third career.
I mean, what is he gonna? He'd have to go back to either being at Gray's as an anesthesiologist or a doctor. I mean, he's got like how many careers now? He can pick one of the old ones.
Pick
Which
one.
I don't love either one of those options. I don't think that I want to see him in Grey's again.
I feel like if I saw him in Gray's, I would rather him be an anesthesiologist because he's not like so forefront in that. He was always kind of like in the back. You'd still see him. You'd still got a little bit of him, but he was still kind of like in the back. He wasn't making like life-threatening, or not life-threatening, but life-threatening decisions. So,
but it seemed like him and Bailey were always on the rocks when they were actually like working together.
When he was a resident, but when he was an anesthesiologist, they weren't. That's when they were happy with each other. But I don't think he liked it. So I guess we'll see. I see something happening to where he won't have to quit.
Or maybe he'll be a stay-at-home dad.
What, is he one off the show?
Well, I mean, hopefully if they get Prue, then he'll bring her to the firehouse and stuff, and he might not have to be off the show. He just will be around.
Well, he did say at the end that he's calling their bluff. So I think he really believes they're bluffing and they're not going to make him quit. But I don't think the Millers know how to bluff.
No, and I don't think they will loosen up on this.
I understand completely where they're coming from. Like, I get where they're coming from. I totally get where they're coming from, but asking him to give up his career is asking a little much.
They should have enough respect for their son to be proud that their granddaughter is going to be raised by somebody that Dean was proud of and looked up to and trusted. And that was her father's career. I mean, there's just, I completely, this is the only time you guys can hear me this, but I agree with the Millers. But then again, I don't feel like it's really their right to say what Ben can and cannot do for his career.
They are in the right to say, hey, Ben, we really want you to think about this because, we're concerned about, Prue losing another father.
Yeah.
But in the end, we understand we can't tell you what to do. Just think about it. But the Millers don't, that's not the Millers' MO. So. No,
they're already like, we're giving you Prue. You can do this one thing for us. But they're asking a huge thing. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's just, it does make sense. That was worded wrong. It does make sense, but I don't think Ben's going to go for it.
It seems like based off of last episode, like with their wants for like visitation and stuff, it just seems like they want to be in control of something.
Yeah. Which I think that's just them as people.
Speaking of wonderful parents.
Oh, good Lord. I know where you're going with this.
While all of this was happening, Emmett and Travis were having a lovely dinner with his family.
Oh my God, guys.
Who? Emmett and who?
Travis.
Trevor?
Travis.
Well, Emmett's mom called him Trevor, so we're going with
because
Trevor.
She thought that his name was Trevor.
Yeah.
But it's Travis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now you're confusing me.
I just have to put in here, and I know I've already told you guys, but I laughed. I had to pause the show, and I laughed so hard because I was like, this is it. They're actually listening to us. This was the confirmation.
Guys, that dinner started. I automatically texted Shelby. I was like, what the heck dinner is this? Like, I was like, what on earth am I watching right now? It went from awkward to like volatile in like 2 seconds. I was like, whoa, what the heck is this dinner?
Emmett's parents are
real
characters,
treat.
Man.
And they are bold, talking about all the Emmett's exes and wanting grandbabies and everything. And then Emmett's like, well, we can still have grandbabies. And like, they have some balls. I mean,
oh man.
I do have one question though. Mm-hmm. Emmett's mom,
Kitty,
what is her? Yeah, what's her deal? because it seemed like she was trying to like bait his dad into spilling this information. Like, oh, I really want you to know this information, but I'm not going to spill it. I'm going to force him into it. And I'm like, at first I liked her. I was like, well, she seems ditzy, but nice. And then the dinner kept going on. I was like, no, I don't think I like her, but I don't know for sure. Like, what is this?
I mean, she's like, oh, your father's going to run for mayor and he doesn't like that one thing.
Just like that. And then she sat back and drank the wine. I'm like,
yes, she just sat back and would drink and be like, okay, you guys start fighting. It's like she just like loved the drama. I can't remember the dad's name. Kitty and it was something ridiculous.
Kitty and Emmett's dad. That's
Bobo.
Kitty and Jerkhead.
Bo? Was it Bo?
That dinner was just so freaking all over the place. I was like, at first I felt a little bad for Emmett, and then I felt really bad for both of them because it turned really volatile. And I was like, what the heck am I watching? Like, I don't understand.
He wants to run for mayor and shut down Emmett's job, basically. Like, that's what I got out of that. How you do that to your son.
And then a few seconds earlier, he was saying, oh yeah, well, it is decreasing the number of, police calls or whatever. So it's like, okay, so you're admitting that it's a successful program, but you're shutting it down because you don't like it.
So he's been corrupt for a long time. His name is Michael, but that's not what she called him.
Even from the jump, he was coming after Emmett, though. Like, he was telling him to man up and drink the hard liquor instead of the wine. And it just, I don't know. The whole thing didn't sit right with me. Dick.
That's what it was.
Because he said, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah. That's why it was so funny. So I was like, man, I gotta remember what it was.
They had to do that on purpose because that's not short for Michael.
No, it's not.
No, it's probably short for what he acts like.
I was gonna say it's short for Richard. That was actually my grandpa's name. Dick.
But she called him birthday boy at first, and I was like, Amanda can't talk about this. But yeah, she called him Dick.
Like, well, I don't think birthday boy is the name that Amanda was.
That's it. That's what we call him from now on, birthday boy. No, we're just gonna call him Dick from now on. That way Maureen can't get mad at us for saying Dick.
It's a name. It's not a bad word. It's somebody's name.
Yes, guys, but you didn't have to say it 20 times.
Yes, we did. That's what happens when you miss out on a recording.
All right.
So yeah, he's just cutting out a program that he said is successful, which makes me believe that he's cutting it simply because he just doesn't like it.
He's cutting a program that involves his own son.
Which is,
this just tells you what this man is capable of. By the way, what's his name? Shelby? Dick. That's right.
Dick.
Which is well suited. So.
And Travis.
But anyway.
I can't do that. All right. So Kitty and Dick.
Travis got really in his face. I was like, whoa.
Right?
That went from 0 to 5,000 in 2 seconds.
I was here for it, though.
Oh, yeah. I loved every second of it, but I was like, whoa, what has happened? I thought I missed something.
It was well deserved.
Yeah, I skipped back and I was like, nope, didn't miss anything. It went that fast.
I thought somebody was going to get punched. I mean, I thought somebody was going to pull an Owen.
Oh, I wanted Travis to punch Dick in the face.
Yes.
I was surprised. Sure. I was kind of surprised though, because okay, you guys know I haven't been watching for very long, but Travis seems pretty passive. So I was kind of surprised that he got that heated, to be honest.
It's personal.
He tends to be passive, but then he's also very passionate.
Yeah, I think he's more the type to get. He doesn't get volatile until there's a good reason to get that way. And this was a good reason. I mean, not only was Dick being extremely negative Nancy, towards his own son, Emmett, he was also so rude to Travis Trevor. So, I mean, just all around, he was a dick move.
We see what you did there.
Good job.
I had to. So yeah, Travis completely flipped out, and then him and Emmett talked outside, which broke my heart. This whole breakup is killing me. I don't know why, because I think they need to be apart, but it's just sad.
I mean, it is sad, but I'm glad that they finally are both on the same page about calling it quits, because neither one of them should be in a relationship with anybody right now.
Yeah, they need to be alone with themselves.
They need to discover themselves.
They did both admit that they loved each other, though. It was just not. They love each other, but they shouldn't be together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that.
So and do we think that Dick's actually gonna get mayor? What are the chances?
Oh, good Lord, I hope not.
I don't know. I'm scared. I think there's a good chance.
I'm really nervous. I think that there's a good chance he's going to be mayor. Otherwise, why would that have been brought up?
Oh, let's cross our fingers that this man, I was going to say gets in a horrible accident, but that's not nice to say at all, Amanda.
Let's just hope he,
changes his mind.
And maybe leaves Seattle forever.
There you go. Perfect. That's better than where my head
went.
went.
He and Kitty can get in the car and go to Minnesota to be with all the Minnesota people we don't like.
So I did see on Instagram, the guy who plays Emmett posted that this is his last episode for at least this season. He didn't say if it was for good or if it was just for the season, but we're not going to see him for a while. Yeah,
which with Grays, it can mean, honestly, either one.
I'm just glad they didn't kill him off.
I know. I hate when they kill the people. I'm like, man, if you need to leave the show, just leave.
But that means there probably won't be any more Crisis 1 calls for now then. And if he's not going to be on, then they might shut down Crisis 1.
I mean, really, if Ben backs out, Crisis 1 will just be done because Emmett will be gone. Ben will be gone. Who else is a part of Crisis 1? Jack,
Travis,
Karina, right?
Vic.
I think all of them almost.
I think they're all a part of it, really.
But I feel like if they lose Emmett and they lose Ben, I don't know, and the mayor's going after them, it doesn't look good.
I mean, I can see Jack trying really hard to fight for it, but ultimately I don't think he alone fighting for it will be enough.
No, absolutely not. But I mean, they're all fighters. Firefighters.
Yeah.
I see what you did.
I'm on it today.
You are on a roll.
I have the mom jokes today. Okay.
So do we want to talk about Station 23 drama too?
I was about to say there is definitely some drama going on at 23 this week.
Oh yeah.
Well, former 23, because 23 is officially shut down. I'm not excited about it. I know I sounded excited about it, and I'm not excited about it. But
I don't care about it.
Yeah, I'm just like, whatever. Like, the only two people that I really like there was Andy and Theo.
Poor Theo. I can never remember that man's name. I love Theo.
It's like me and Travis.
I think he's wonderful. I love him with Vic now. I just can never remember his name.
I know. It took me a while to get Theo. I'll get Travis. Oops. I'll get Travis one day.
Do you guys think that Theo and Andy will get back to 19, or do you think they'll just be done?
I think Andy definitely will, because Ross pretty much told her, but we don't know what's going to happen with Andy after this episode.
Yeah, we'll get to that piece in a tiny bit, but
so
I'm kind of upset that Theo and Andy are on the outs now.
I know. The whole bar scene, I was actually kind of enjoying the bar scene at the very beginning.
It was really nice. I was like, oh, these are all decent people. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they walked into Joe's and I was like, oh, Joe's, like I was excited. I was like, anytime I see Joe's, I get excited because I know it's just going to be like a fun time. That was not a fun time.
Oh, no, it was
Guys,
zero fun.
So Andy gets extremely drunk and opens her mouth to Theo, which I thought was going to be innocent enough. But he is PO'd and tells
Yeah.
everybody.
I really didn't think he would be that mad.
I don't think alcohol helped the situation at all. So that was that it surprised me. I was actually genuinely shocked by that. But I don't know. It's like I do understand them getting frustrated, and because but also I feel like nobody was really listening to Andy. They were just going on their conclusions, and then everybody got mad and stormed out.
Yeah.
It's like, what? She doesn't need to be a part of that anyways. Whatever. It's not like she went to Ross and was like, hey, shut down 23 and I want to be back at 19. No. 23 was going to get shut down no matter what. She just said, if it's going to get shut down, I'd try to get back over to 19, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, she was pretty much shooting her shot, trying to make sure that she had a position somewhere else.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but in the world we live in today, you need to take care of your own before you take care of others.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, we take care of others as well. Don't get me wrong, but put yourself in a good position and then try to help the rest of your coworkers.
And poor Andy, I really thought that I really think that she thought that her and Theo were like had a good enough friendship that he wouldn't out her like that. I mean, obviously not, but in a drunken conversation like that, I mean, we see it all the time in these shows. Like, I don't know. I feel like it was grossly overreacted.
Yeah. So they all get pissed at her and leave her alone with this old firefighter friend that they had. And they start drinking.
I forgot what his name was, but he got her drunk.
Which now I think we can say I think that was his plan.
Well, I was watching him really closely because, so at the beginning of the episode, it said about a sexual assault thing.
Yeah.
So I thought it had to have been him, like as the episode was going on or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was watching him really closely as he was buying her drinks because like I was waiting for him to like drug it or whatever, but he didn't drug it. He just got her like toasted.
Yeah. That's why I don't know if he premeditated attacking her or if it was they were both drunk and on the whim. Either way, it was uncalled for and very disturbing to watch. And I don't know. It's like, I wonder if she killed him.
So with Andy, I was really proud of her for sticking with the pact even though she was drunk. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's when I texted you guys and I was like, I don't like the way this is going. I actually turned it off because I didn't think I'd be able to watch it because of,
Yeah.
And I was glad that it didn't turn out how I thought it was going to turn out because I had to end up finishing it, obviously, to do this. But I was glad it didn't turn out how I thought it was going to turn out.
Oh, same.
But guys, I was like, I bawled. Like, I really thought.
Yeah. I mean, I got scared. Like, I really, really
I was
scared.
I was about to text Shelby and be like, do not pick it up again until I like preview it for you.
Yeah.
But then she was like, okay, I watched it. I was like, okay, well, never mind.
I know. I was watching it, I think, whenever you were kind of talking. No, I was watching it the next day. Mm-hmm. I didn't look at the messages until I was watching it. That's what it was. Because I didn't want any spoilers. But that was...
I was very triggered. I was very upset.
Yeah.
Like,
and I
turned it off for a while and like I cried. Like,
I mean, sexual assault in any cases, it's extremely disturbing, but to see it happen to somebody we know and love on their TV screen every week was very hard to watch. And I am so glad that her self-defense kicked in and she was able to kick his butt.
I love that throat punch.
Right?
Yeah.
Throat punch.
I cheered.
Man, I was so happy when she did that. I was like, oh, he's down.
My
Like,
heart was racing the whole time. And then the episode was over. I was like, should I go into Grey's like right away? I think I need a drink right now or something.
I didn't go. I literally waited, I think, a day to watch Grey's just because I was upset after Andy. I needed like some comedy break.
I was convinced that Grey's that it would carry into Grey's. So that's kind of why I paused a little bit. And then I watched this like, oh, okay. Because then I watched the preview and I was like, okay, well, I guess they're not touching on that in Grey's then.
Yeah. So I haven't seen the preview, but I definitely thought they were going to carry it into Grey's. And so I was like, well, I'm going to take a break.
It looks like they're carrying it into next week though, based on the preview.
So we see Andy at the police station, which I'm guessing, so it looked like she ran to her friends and then they took her to the police station. And she's talking to the cop, and it looks like this might bring up some like women, like Me Too issues. In my opinion, because it looks like the cop is, of course, victim blaming, because no one ever, I don't want to say no one. Okay, let me rephrase that. It seems like most of the time when you report something like that, either the female isn't believed, or if it's a man that you're talking to, they take the man's side.
On occasion, I mean, I would like to say that the world is getting better about that kind of stuff, but it's still not in a lot of places, which is really sad. I mean, if you're going to falsely accuse somebody of sexual assault, then you need to get your human card taken away from you, because it's not something to joke about. And it's a very serious topic. So I feel like whenever somebody not cries wolf, but when somebody says they're sexually assaulted, that needs to be taken seriously. Whether you think it happened or not, it needs to be looked into. It needs to be taken seriously.
It needs to be taken seriously and investigated the same way any other crime that's being reported would be investigated.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't like how the guy was like, so you hit him because you thought that he was going to assault you. No, he did assault me. Like, he had her up against the wall.
Yep.
And she was a BADASS and turned it over on him, which he fully deserved.
Does Joe's not have any cameras in the back? I'm wondering.
I don't know.
It doesn't seem like it.
Maybe that'll come at some point.
But it looks like, I couldn't tell who found him, but someone found him on the parking lot and then took him to Grey Sloan. Now, but based off of the Grey's Anatomy preview next week, it doesn't look like it's a crossover. It looks like it's just they're dealing with that in Station 19, and then Grey's is dealing with something else.
So it probably gets wrapped up in Station 19.
Yeah, but at the end of the preview, they were talking about how they can't let this they can't let this, I don't want to say person, because now he's not a person anymore. Like, you can't let this guy die because then Andy killed him.
Yeah, which I also don't want to see happening, because that's...
So I think it might be I think we might see a minor crossover. If this guy's at the hospital, we might be seeing some Grey Sloan people, but I don't think it's going to carry over into Grey's.
I hope it doesn't, because I don't know. With my history and stuff, I just want to be done with this, to be honest.
They've own issues going on over at Grey Sloan. Like, they don't need this right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess that wraps up Station 19 for this week. So we can move on to Grey's then.
All right. So for Grey's Anatomy, we're talking about season 18, episode 14, called Road Trippin'. And at the beginning of this episode, we get to see Owen. I was excited. Sorry. He's getting a follow-up exam by Amelia.
And of course, he is not ready. Or, I mean, mentally, he is very ready.
Yes.
But she is not being cleared. And she threw a pen at him to prove it and told him to pick it up.
That was hilarious.
So, I know it sounds like a really small detail add, but I mean, I love their interaction. I'm like, this is a fun Owen Amelia interaction that we haven't had too much of lately.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like once they've kind of ruined that friendship with their marriage and everything. But I really, 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 really do like Amelia and Owen not together, like friends. I love seeing their friendship because they really do have a great friendship and they're very compatible friendship wise, not romantically, but friendship wise, they are. I mean, I think they're great friends and I love seeing it. So I was happy. I've been kind of happy seeing them interacting with each other while Owen's been going through this. It's been fun.
Did anyone else think it was funny how she threw the pen at him to prove that he wasn't ready, and Owen in 911 threw the pen at what's his face, or the remote at what's his face, to show that he was ready?
Yeah.
To come back.
I didn't realize this was a thing. Throwing stuff at people to prove if they're ready for something or not.
It makes sense. We start throwing things at you guys.
You'll hit a computer screen, but okay.
I have a wicked arm.
So I love how Owen found himself a little loophole to get back to work in some capacity.
I love it.
He had a lot of stuff to deal with, though.
Oh my gosh, poor Owen. One day he fills in.
Can we talk a little bit about everyone's attitude toward him being chief? I think it was Helm was my favorite. She was like, does Chief Bailey know you're doing this? He was like, I was chief for 6 years.
5.
Okay.
Okay.
Whatever you say.
And I always, anytime I do my rewatches on Grey's, I always do forget how long Owen was the chief. I always feel like it's like a little blip, like maybe like for a few months, but I'm like, no, he was chief for such a long time.
How long was it?
5 years. Which it just doesn't seem like it. I mean, he says 5 years. It was, and I think he's about right. I remember
in the grand scheme of Grey's Anatomy, it probably feels more like 5 minutes because of how long the show's been on. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, remember he was chief during like the airplane crash, even.
Oh yeah, he went through the whole them suing the hospital and everything.
Yeah, I mean, so he was chief actually for a while. I just always forget it, and I mean, every single time I do a rewatch, I'm like, why do I just. If I think about it, I'm like, man, I always remember. I always forget that he was chief for so long, but I did like Helm's reaction. Okay. Because I was like fighting for Owen. I was like, no, he really was.
He really was chief and he did a great job.
Oh yeah. But my gosh, the one day this man offers to be chief, I think is the worst day to be.
I really wanted to know what that lady's deal was. I was like, because they were like, she showed up, she was talking to, I don't know, Teddy at first or something. She was like, oh, I think she was looking for Richard. It's like, oh, well, Richard's not here today. You're going to have to find Chief Bailey. So then she went to find Chief Bailey. They're like, well, I think you need to find Dr. Hunt now. I'm like, this woman, whatever her job is going to be so irritated by the time she finally gets to talk to Owen, and poor Owen is going to take the brunt of whatever this lady has coming for them.
And that's exactly what happened.
Oh yeah.
But I thought she was like a pharma rep or something. Like that's why they were just blowing her off. But she was actually like a big wig.
Yeah. And I think that's why she was getting really irritated. Really can we just take a really quick mention of Perez? I know we do every time we see him, but oh my goodness, do I love this man. He cracks me up. Just boosting Bailey beside her. Just boosting her up. And then no. Excuse me?
He was 100% her hype man. And I was like, can he be everyone's hype man? Like can that be his job?
Right? I loved it.
He was loving doing surgeries though.
Mm-hmm.
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
So my theory is she loves doing surgeries, but she's not doing them anymore as chief. And we know that Mare has the job offer and she hasn't made a decision yet. I'm wondering if she tries to give Chief to Mare because, like, why else would she say no to a job that she has full control over unless she got full control over the hospital and Bailey goes back to doing surgeries and stuff since she has Prue, and then that way she'll be home more possibly.
I mean, it could quite possibly go that way just because of what we will talk about it later, but what we see in the preview for next week. I think something like that could possibly happen, but not because she wants to, but maybe because she has to. So I think it's just become a very, very stressful job. She looked so happy out there doing those surgeries. She reminded me of the old Bailey.
She was blissful. She was like, nope, that's not my job today. I'm just doing surgeries. Go find Owen Hunt. I'm like, oh, honey, you have no idea what is, like, I didn't know what was going to happen at the end of the episode with this slate. I didn't think she was a farm rep. I figured she was there for some big reason, but I just couldn't figure out what.
I knew it was something. I knew it was something to do with the residency program, just because of who she was asking for. She first asked for Richard, and then when Bailey, she was looking for Richard at the beginning. So I figured it had something to do with the residency program, but it's looking bad. This residency is looking pretty bad on them.
I want to know who made the formal complaints, because it seems like the complaints are really all centered around that Weber method.
But like, I think it's a lot of them making complaints. I mean, how many complaints did they say there was? 18?
Oh, I don't remember the number, but I remember hearing the number and I was like, that's a lot of complaints. Do they even have that many residents?
I mean, I guess the same resident could make more than one complaint, but it could even be doctors working overtime. It could be, I mean, it could be any of them. It doesn't have to be the residents. I mean, they were also complaining about work hours, so that can be doctors. So that can be doctors, residences, and who else knows? But it doesn't sound good. And I mean, no, they don't need to be working their doctors like that. So they do need to look into it and fix it. So as much as I don't want Grace to get in trouble, we know there's a next season. We know it's not going to be fine. We just got to figure out how they're going to work it out. But I mean, they might really say, well, the only way we're working this out is if we get a new chief or somebody new over the residency program, at least, which I think Richard's already 1 foot out the door.
Well, he's definitely 1 foot out the door, at least as far as surgery is concerned. I don't know if he was fully thinking of leaving the whole, educating part.
I think he was, because he wasn't even willing to stay around today to help. Not today. The episode we're talking about today.
I don't know. I felt like he was just, because Bailey was trying to talk him into doing surgery. I think that's what he was shying away from.
Could be. So,
but I mean, if the problem is his mental faculties, which is what he's worried about, then maybe he shouldn't be teaching anymore either.
That's what I was thinking. Like, how is he going to teach if he's worried about his mental capabilities? Like, you can't teach if you're getting early signs of dementia or Alzheimer's. I mean, you just, and not saying that's what he's had, but, or just age. I mean, I'm sorry, but when you age, your memory starts going naturally. You don't have to have dementia or Alzheimer's to have memory loss.
Yeah. I mean, even surgery wise, I mean, his reflexes and, everything starts to go as you get older. Like, that's why a lot of people lose their driver's license and stuff when they get older, because your eyesight starts to go. You don't have as fast reflexes. If someone stops in front of you real quick, like, you don't have that capacity to stop so fast, which, I mean, as far as surgery goes, you need all of that.
Yep. And like I said before, Richard's one of my favorites. I love Richard and I don't want him off the show at all, but I understand.
I'm just interested in what capacity he's going to remain on the show.
Or is he?
Oh, no. He has to stay, or Amanda might quit.
No, I won't, because Richard, I am so sorry, Richard, James Pickens Jr. I love you so much, but I mean, maybe the man wants to retire. He's old.
He has to be in his 60s.
He's 67. So, I mean, he could still like probably finish out Grey's. Let's be real. 67 is not that extreme. It's old, but it's not like extremely old. He could keep going, but maybe he's tired. He's been doing Grey's since episode 1.
Yeah. I mean, look at Betty White. She was still doing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think he might not. He might get all clear and be like, all right, well, let's keep going, which is what I'm really hoping for. But also if he leaves, I really do. I won't be that upset because I do understand that, you might
as long as they don't kill him. As long as they don't kill him.
Please don't kill him. Listen, if you're going to listen to anything that I have to say, Krista and friends, do not kill Richard or Bailey.
Let him retire in peace and, go home and, take up golfing or something.
Like have him and Debbie. Him and Debbie.
You were close.
Catherine. I couldn't even think of her name. Like Debbie Allen. Let him and Catherine like retire. Jackson's not on the show anymore. Catherine doesn't need to be on the show anymore. Let
maybe
Richard
they can
Catherine just retire and live peacefully and visit sometimes.
Yeah, let them retire and move to Boston and be with the family, and then they can visit. Don't kill anybody.
Anyways, to get back to Owen. We went on a long tangent there. I need to know y'all's opinion. When he walked into that viewing room and kicked out all the residents and told them to go work and not watch the surgery, did you guys agree with that or no?
He was stressed out for sure because of all the stuff that was thrown at him just on that day. I think he may have overreacted because that was a good teaching. Like it was a once in a lifetime surgery from all the knowledge I have about, medicine, which is quite extensive thanks to all the shows that we watch.
Pretty much just add MD at the end of our names.
But yeah, from what I gathered, it was a once in a lifetime surgery. And I remember back, like when the show first started, it was a big deal that they would have people like observing this surgery. So I'm not quite sure I understand fully why he kicked everyone out.
I do. I have a difference of opinion here, and I'm glad that we have. Shelby, what is yours?
So my opinion is they're already short on doctors. Meredith is home sick. Richard's MIA for, reasons. Levi is off the wall. They're already short, so I get where he was coming from. But if there was nothing on their schedule, I don't see why they couldn't be there. I would get it. Like, I understand if they were missing something that they were supposed to be doing to sit there and watch that. Like, they shouldn't be doing that at all. But if everything's done, or like if it was just their free time, like if they were there like on their lunch break, like deciding to just take their lunch break to watch it, like I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, that was my problem with him kicking them out.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I mean, I get that there's a shortage of doctors, and yes, if they have patients that they need to see like right now, then yeah, they need to be kicked out and go do their job.
Yeah.
But he just kicked everyone out. Like there was no, hey, Perez, you're supposed to be with,
Well, he did to the first couple. He's like, aren't you supposed to be doing this? Aren't you supposed to do this? Then what are you guys doing here? Go. I don't disagree with him on this. I really don't. I think it also does suck because I do think that they should have seen that surgery because like you guys said, it's a once in a lifetime surgery. On the other hand, I guarantee you it's being recorded. They can go back. But this day, their chief of surgery is in there during surgeries because they're so short on people. They don't need everybody to be sitting there. They can watch it later on film, to be honest, because I mean, if the hospital's in this much of a crisis, then no, that whole thing should not have been filled up. Now, as you can see, the people who did stay were attendings because they probably didn't have anywhere to be at that exact moment. But residents, they need to be charting. They need to be checking on patients. They need to be, I mean, they're the ones that are doing, let's be honest, the brunt of the busy work. Residents and interns, that's, they're low on the totem pole. They're going to be doing all the busy work, and the attendings don't do as much. They do kind of the harder stuff. I mean, attendings are amazing as their own, but
they're more looking over what the residents are doing, type of thing.
Yeah. Now, I do think Owen could have came at it in a different way. But again, I think he was stressed. I think he saw Wanda walk. He's stressing out. He walked in there and everybody's just sitting there. And he's like, what are you guys supposed to be doing? I get it. But he should have said she should have done it differently. And just so happens that this nice lady is standing behind him listening to him lay into these people.
I mean, like I said, like if they were there on their own lunch break, or like if they were off the clock and they were just there like on their own time, like it would be completely different. But the fact that they were as short as they were, like I get where he was coming from if they had stuff to do.
Yeah. I mean, you get stressed out. So what? He yelled at them. Look at all of our fire shows. I mean, they get yelled at all the time. But
I kind of like seeing that side of Owen. Like, okay, I'm not a big fan of Owen.
I am.
I've gotten more now that he's not with Christina. I didn't like him with Christina at all. I like him better now that Christina's not around. But I love that side of Owen. Like the whole military man, like, I don't know. It's just
hot. Yeah, I know.
I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Owen's hot. I mean,
Jeanette's gonna she's gonna love that.
I can't wait till she gets home and watches our shows. Shout out to Jeanette.
We miss
you.
We miss you.
Come back soon.
So at the very end of our kind of Owen part, when Bailey comes into his office at that late at night, she's just happy as can be.
She was practically dancing into her own office.
I know. And then
and Owen ruins it.
Yeah, it was like, oh, bless her little heart. She's about to get her heart broken somehow.
I know. I mean, but they haven't shut it down yet. They're trying to shut it down. So, which Grey's, I mean, that's what the show is pretty much about. I mean, it's about Meredith Grey, obviously, but it's a lot about the residents and the interns and a teaching hospital. That's the premise of the show. Which
they said that they've been making it so that if it doesn't like pick up for the next season, that it could end. So if it was going to end, then no more residency program. That would be the end of Grey's. Now that it's not ending, the residency program can stay.
Yeah. So Grey's people who listen to us, can you please drop in our emails and just let us know how we can email you to get you our ideas, I guess. So thank you.
Especially Krista. We know that you listen to our ideas.
I don't think Krista's actually listening. I think she has one of her
She has her people
listening. Yeah, I do.
If you work with Krista, we need your contact information. Please and thank you.
Please, thank you. Okay. All right. So, but anyways, moving on. Maggie and Winston has like this extremely huge surgery, and Winston gets a little surprised as well. Okay. Where are we on Wendell?
I thought he was sketchy.
Do you?
I did.
You did.
When he first came,
I still don't trust him.
When he first came, well, I'm like, eh. But when he first came, I was like, this dude's just using Winston's name. And he was. But now it seems like after talking to the patient's brother, it seems like Winston wants to try to mend that relationship. And if it does go that way, I think that with Winston being newly married and stuff, I think that could be good.
And I think Wendell will probably be around for a little bit. He's a big name actor. I mean, in the Grey's world, he was one of the front runners on How to Get Away with Murder, which is another Shonda Rhimes show. Yeah. Like if you go to Netflix and you go to like the show, then you'll like see his face. Like he's one of the main people on the show. So usually when that happens, they're probably going to be around for a little bit. So I think we should just start getting used to Wendell.
I do think it could be a good thing if his intentions are good. I mean, I think that Winston kind of put him in his place, and hopefully that sticks.
I have this feeling he's going to bring drama. I don't know if it's even going to be intentionally.
He's going to cause some problems.
I think so. So speaking of Wendell and Winston, the whole like chunk of this whole episode was around Fernanda, fierce Fernanda, which I loved, but I really, really did enjoy this little storyline here. Her family was so amazing. In the RV, what is that? I can't think of the word. When the RV was like storming in the ambulance bay, Maggie's face was like, whoa. But they get there after what they said they drove for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was only supposed to be a couple days, but they
4
ended up like
days.
stopping and stuff.
Where are they coming from? I think I missed it. I was just trying to say, they were saying 4 days of driving. So that's going to have to be, I mean, that's a long way, but also going all the way up to Seattle. That's pretty high on the map too. So
Boston.
Okay. That's what I thought. But I was also thinking I was getting confused with like, I was like, no, like that's where Jackson and April went. I don't think it's Boston. I thought my mind was there. Okay, good. So they're coming first. So it's a 4-day drive to Boston, apparently.
So when they got there, basically Winston had to carry her into the hospital because she was like really bad off.
Well, they took their sweet time driving. I mean, they went on a scenic route. So, I mean, obviously she got worse.
But
that was hard.
Okay.
That was hard because I mean, I understand the family wanted to do a little road trip. That was hard.
So in my opinion, and I don't know, I have 2 different opinions on this. I get where they were coming from with it because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. They're not ever going to drive across the states again. But
well, they could.
And they could, but they didn't know if she was going to die or not in the surgery. This is a very risky surgery.
Mm-hmm.
This might have been the last road trip that they had with their daughter.
Yep.
So I get it. But at the same time, if your daughter is that sick that you're taking her across country to get this risky surgery that you don't know that she's going to survive, why are you doing this?
Yeah. See, that was my problem. I got both sides.
Because I feel like they were, because I get it, like they were taking a risk with this surgery. So they wanted to make sure that, they got that family time, but then also they're taking a risk having all that family time because what if the surgery ends up, being successful and then they miss out on that because they're doing their road trip. So,
yep. I mean, and we see when she gets there, she's severely dehydrated.
Yeah.
Which is so sad. I mean, I can see how that can easily happen, really, in an RV on the road. Poor girl. She almost broke my heart when Winston just picked her up and ran to the PICU. I was like, oh. But also her parents should have been more on top of that with how sick she was.
It looked like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it looked like she was pretty much confined to the bed. So like her parents would have to wait on her pretty much hand and foot, right?
Yeah.
So that's on them.
It is, but also they're probably giving her water, or liquids or whatever she needed, but it probably just wasn't enough. I mean, when somebody's sick, you need more liquids and, that could easily, I hate to blame the parents completely because, they're just trying to make memories and do something and, they messed up. It happens.
I felt really bad for her brother when he was talking to Winston and he was like, her disease is kind of ruining all of our lives and like we just wanted one normal thing and this might have killed her type of thing. Like my heart broke for him.
Oh yeah, mine did too. And he was a phenomenal actor. I just want to really give him props on this because his crying was very realistic.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the actor really dug up some stuff to get that reaction out of himself.
He dug real deep that one.
Like, I want to give him a hug.
Yeah.
He broke my heart. I mean, really, I got mad at Winston about this one again. Maggie changes the surgery route. Winston did not agree with her at all. What did you guys? I was kind of on Maggie's side. Whose side were you guys on, Maggie or Winston? Are you team Maggie or are you team Winston on this one? You have to be Maggie's because her plan worked.
I was conflicted, to be honest. I was a little bit mad at Winston though for shutting down Maggie's ideas in front of the patient. I feel like that's something that you should do like outside, because honestly, like that to me, I don't trust people easily anyway, so maybe like this isn't a normal thing, but to me, like if I'm putting my trust into a doctor to make this big surgery that's already risky, and then another doctor that's with you on the surgery is like, no, I don't think that's a good idea, all of my trust is going out the window, period. And absolutely. I don't think that he handled it properly. I understand why he had his reservations, but Maggie's like one of the best heart surgeons in probably the world, or at least the US. So I feel like he should have had more faith in her, but I also see where he was coming from. But he didn't go about it right, once again.
I also want to say when Maggie first started on the show, they really pulled a lot into like her Lexiness, like her encyclopedia brain. Like she knows a lot of stuff. She's extremely smart. And I feel like the more and more Grace keeps going on, like we kind of lose that. We kind of forget that Maggie is as smart as she is, because they don't really say anything or show that much anymore. And I this week it brought it back up to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like you do see it this week that, you know, her brains are just phenomenal and she's so incredibly intelligent. So I did enjoy seeing that side of Maggie again.
She's like a genius, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
Yeah, she graduated when she was like 2. I think she was like smarter than Lexi almost. Yeah, Lexi just had a photographic memory.
Yeah, her and Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah. So Eve, what about you? Were you team Maggie or team Winston?
I was definitely team Maggie to an extent, because I was like, you know, she found she saw a problem and she offered a solution. And the parents and Fernanda, they all seemed to be willing to do. Maggie made it very clear to them what the risks were, and they still really wanted to do it. And I thought I get why Winston was so concerned, because, you know, it was a tricky surgery and they'd already been planning for the other tricky surgery. But to kind of be the way he was in front of the patients, it's like that was a little much.
Yeah.
And the surgery was different, but it didn't seem like it was that different. It's not like they went completely off the rails here. Like it seemed like it was just like a couple extra steps.
That's what I understood from it. Like my understanding was that it was essentially the same surgery with just some like extra flair.
Yeah. I mean, and Winston eventually gets on board after talking to the brother, and I think the brother pretty much guilted him into agreeing to it. He understood more.
The brother helped him out a good bit. Like the brother actually made him want to talk to his brother more too, I think.
Yeah, he did. I mean, like I said, bravo to the actor, friend. What's her name? Francisca?
Here's Fernanda.
Fernanda. My gosh, I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
What is it with you and names?
Oh, I'm usually really good at names, y'all. I don't know. I watch too many shows. They all start going together.
Hey, Amanda, just watch in the next episode, someone's accidentally going to call her Francisca.
Francisca. All right. Let's jump on the Toad and Jod.
So we have two different couple names for you there, Krista.
Toad and Jod.
Feel free to pick whichever one you want.
Totally switched the J and the T when I was reading through that. Okay, Amanda. Whew.
Winston's not the only one having heart-to-heart conversations with their patient's brothers.
No, they're not.
Joe's having
Joe,
lots of heart-to-hearts, and I love it.
maybe even more than that. Well, not yet, but
So I ate one of these yesterday, by the way. So Todd brings this edible
Ate what?
arrangement. An edible
Oh.
arrangement.
oh my gosh. Okay.
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 I
we're
was really
good.
confused. I was like, what did you eat? Oh, okay.
An edible arrangement.
I was very confused.
I really wanted that edible arrangement. I was like, I need to get my hands on that fruit basket right now.
So the edible arrangement, I thought it was hilarious that Joe presumed that it was for her.
I thought it was. Like, I thought he was, like, they had their little, coffee date, their, drink at Joe's or whatever, and he was just, smitten with her or something and got her an edible arrangement. I thought that sounded likely.
How
But see,
hilarious was that, though?
I thought it was so funny because, like, okay, so coming from someone who's like kind of poor-ish, edible arrangements are like dumb expensive. And
They
like
are.
I was sitting there and I was like, if this is for Joe, he's like going from like 0 to 100 pretty quick here. Like why would you buy something that expensive after just one date?
Well, I mean, he does go off later and buy something I guarantee you was more expensive.
Yeah, the roses.
Yeah, those are some nice looking roses. And the
Those-
snacks.
Those were fancy looking roses.
They really were. I mean, good job, prop department.
He's got me swoon. I think
know. Except
And
I keep
then-
calling him Skylar. I can't call him Todd.
Okay, so when he went to go visit her in the library and he was like, I've never kissed anyone in the library before, I'm like, I bet you would kiss Anna Kendrick in the library.
Yes.
Skylar Todd.
Skylar Todd.
Todd Skylar.
Ooh, see, Todd Skylar, that's a fancy name. Take note, Krista's people, whose new name is Todd Skylar.
Todd Skylar. That just sounds fancy.
It does sound super fancy. He can pull it off, I think.
But before this library scene, we see Todd asking her out. I don't like that Joe was being so responsible. I didn't like this of Joe. I wish she would have just gone out on the date with my Todd. But she didn't. She was a responsible person and she studied instead. To which Teddy overheard. Guys, I could not stop laughing when Teddy did not remember their conversation.
And the face that Joe made when she was walking away.
Yes. She's like, wait, did I say something?
Yeah, she's like, wait, did I say anything at Joe's? And then Joe kind of walked away and she was like, oh God, what did I say? Because that was because we were talking on a different, I guess last week or a couple weeks ago or whenever it was, about how great that conversation was. And now Teddy doesn't even remember it.
Poor Teddy. She's like, oh my gosh, what did I just admit to this girl that I hardly ever talked to?
I was really hoping, like, after that whole thing at Joe's, I was really hoping that was going to be a friendship. But it doesn't look like that's the case.
Well,
I don't know. I don't see Joe and Teddy ever being really good friends. I liked that it was kind of like a one-off thing that they confided into each other at the bar. It made it fun because we never do get to see them together. So I don't know. I'm not upset that they're not getting closer or that we haven't seen anymore because I kind of like that sometimes we get those little moments between characters who don't interact all the time. We get to finally see them interact. I enjoy that when that happens. Really, since they've both been on the show for like so long.
I like that she didn't remember. It was funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
Just Teddy's face going, what are you talking about? What you slept with Link? She yelled at everybody, turned and looked.
Like, yes, we talked about it at Joe's.
Speaking of, where was Link this week?
He's probably
Maureen, you
looking
can
for-
insert crickets right here because nobody remembered Link.
Oh, shoot. Maybe he was looking for preschools.
It just dawned on me right now, so don't feel too bad, guys. Where was Link? They didn't even
Okay,
mention him. We
is
have a
it
shortage of
terrible?
doctors, but where is he?
Is it terrible I didn't miss him?
I didn't miss him either. I honestly forgot about him.
Well, yeah, I didn't realize he wasn't on until Amanda said, "Where was Link?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Oh,
And we only saw Amelia for a minute too.
No, I mean, we saw Amelia a lot more, I feel like.
Well, we didn't see Link at all, so obviously, but
Well, because we had Amelia like with the Owen scenes, and like she was in the gallery watching Maggie's surgery, and she talked to Owen a little bit then. So I
Yeah,
mean, she
that's
was at
true.
least like sprinkled in around, but
no Link.
no Link this week. We missed Link.
you know who I didn't miss?
Take notes. We missed Link. Bring him back.
You know who I didn't miss?
Who?
The Minnesota people. We can keep them away.
Yeah, I didn't miss them, which it looks like we're going to get them more next week, but we'll talk about that in a second. I'm not very happy about it. So to finish up this Todd thing, Todd's sister makes it through the surgery. Thankfully.
Thank goodness.
Ooh.
That would have up that little whatever this is going on.
Yeah, that would have definitely messed up our Todd scenes. I don't think he'd stick around. So meanwhile, all this chaos was at the hospital, and Meredith is homesick with Zola, which can we all just go, oh,
Aww.
I loved it. It was just so real.
it was. And when Zola looked at her and it's like, is it bad that I just want us to be sick more together? My heart just broke. And I mean, Meredith's like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, Meredith was like, yeah, but I was thinking the same thing. It's like, I love every single like millisecond of this part of the show.
Again, what have we been complaining about?
Meredith's never with the kids.
Meredith is never with her kids. So they're giving us something. Okay. They're listening. Like we've said, they're listening. They're giving us some Mare and Zola time.
I went on a whole rant about how much she's a bad mom for not being around. So here we go.
They heard you.
But I was glad to see it. I mean, I adore Zola. Like ever since the last season where she went in and when Mare was in like her COVID coma and she went in and like basically got her to wake up and stuff. Yeah. I absolutely adore Zola. And I love that now that she's older, she has more seeds and stuff.
Yeah.
And like this episode, I also love how Meredith is bringing her into the conversation and kind of like bringing her into the decision in a way.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't really ask her what her opinion was. She asked her about her opinion on moving, but like I like how Zola pretty much just said like we'd follow you anywhere.
Yeah.
Like she didn't discourage it, but she wasn't like all for it either, if that makes sense.
And I don't think Meredith would go. It will end up going to Minnesota. I really don't think she will. I don't think Grace would go that way. But speaking of Zola, her conversation with Bailey, I rewound and had to listen to it again because it was just so funny. No.
Technically, that's a complete sentence.
Technically, that's a complete sentence.
She said, no, ma'am. And why would that be? And like her first sentence, Bailey said, why the hell aren't you here? And Zola said, Mommy said that's not a nice word.
Oh, Bailey's face. I loved it.
Then Bailey said to Richard, because Richard said that he wasn't doing surgery, Bailey was like, no. And Richard's like, just like looked at her and she said, because technically no is a complete sentence.
I loved it. I love that bring back.
I learned that from Zola. She's the smartest person on the show.
But
cracked me
I
up.
also, the other thing that I really, really love too, is that Meredith ignored the phone calls from Nick and Hamilton.
Yep.
Which I know it's because she didn't want to be bothered about the whole Minnesota decision.
Yeah.
But I like that she spent that time with Zola, even though they were sick.
Yep. I think they got some good mommy-daughter time, and I'm happy about it. Because Zola's getting older. Like the little ones, they need their mom around, yeah, but Zola's getting a lot older now, but she's 13. She needs to have Meredith kind of guiding her. I mean, not that she doesn't have some strong women. She has Amelia, Maggie, and Meredith pretty much raising her.
Yeah. But I mean, even the fact that even the fact that Zola noticed that she was like ignoring the phone calls, like you can tell that Zola is more aware of things now.
Yeah. She's a very smart child. Very is. I mean, she actually straight up asks Meredith, why are you ignoring the phone calls? And that's when she tells her about the job.
And I thought it was so cute how she said, well, would being with Dr. Marsh make you happy?
Yeah.
And I forget what Meredith said back, but like I just thought that was so cute how like she has her mom's best interest at heart. Like she obviously knows that her mom's been through the ringer and she has that in her mind.
Yeah, absolutely. She's, like I said, she's extremely smart. She's very, she understands what's going on around her. She's old enough now.
Yeah, and I think she went through a lot. Zola did when last season when Meredith had COVID and was in her coma. I think she really took it on herself to be the one to take care of Ellis and Bailey. So
yeah, and
I mean,
she's like the only child who remembers Derek.
That's a lot to carry, especially as a 13-year-old. So I think the combination of all of that, has really helped her become the mature person that she is. I mean, some of it probably is personality, but I think Derek's death and Meredith having COVID and being in a coma kind of helped push that along a little also.
Yeah, because I mean, she in the back of her head, she's old enough to know like the severity of this. Like in the back of her head, she probably knew like Meredith might not come out of this. You know, it's not like, because I'm sure that they were hiding it from Bailey and Ellis, and I'm sure that they were trying to hide it from her too. But she reads Mom Ellis's medical journal. She watches the videos. Like she knows more than what she probably should as a child. Yeah. So there's no way that she didn't put it together that there's a possibility that Meredith wouldn't be the same if she came out.
Well, next week's episode looks really interesting.
So it looks like they're trying to convince some like head honcho people to keep the residency program.
Yep.
And then Meredith tells Bailey that about the job, and it looks like Richard and Dr. Hamilton are going to get into it.
Yep.
Over Zoom.
And looks like Bailey's going down.
Yeah, Bailey passed out.
I don't know if she passed out. She was grabbing her heart.
Yeah, she was like clutching her heart.
That.
Yeah, she was clutching her heart like this, and then she fell. So I think she had another heart attack. A lot of stress that will do that. I mean, that's why I was saying maybe she does need to be out of the chief spot, because being chief is going to kill her.
And she having a baby now.
Yeah.
Well, Prue's not a baby, but
yeah, she is. It's a baby.
She has the baby face. Until she loses the baby face, she's a baby.
Oh, I want to squeeze those cheeks so bad. You have no idea. I want to bite her. All right. Well, that's it for Station 19 and Grays. I have no idea what's coming out next week. But I know we have This Is Us. What's next week? This Is Us, The Resident. Who's on break? But not 911. There's no 911s next week, right?
Right.
I think it's just Grays and Station 19, and then also This Is Us and Resident.
Yep. Yeah. So be on the lookout for those.
If you like these shows, feel free to join us at our Facebook group, Gray Family Fan Club.
And we can say bye. So bye.
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 So if you guys want to find us on Facebook, all you have to do is search in Facebook for Family Fan Club. All 15, yeah, I said 15 of our groups are going to pop up for you. You want a specific group, you can always go check out our podcast pages. We will have our groups listed in there. And you can find us on any of our social media, which is Twitter and Instagram and TikTok as Fandom Family Chats. And we are constantly trying to get you fun content. Jeanette is our TikTok wizard, trying to get you fun videos there. Usually has a lot of dudes on there, so there's that for you. We have our Twitter and Instagram is not as active as we'd like it to be, and we're working on that, but still, if you have any questions for us, if you want to get involved with what we're doing, if you want to know more about what we do, or maybe some interviews we have coming down the pike, you can hit us up on any of those resources, or you can email us at familyfanclub2021@gmail.com. We check that almost religiously, so reach out to us there and we'll get back to you. Watch out for our website coming soon. We're going to have some merch available for you if you'd like to wear some of our show merchandise for family fan clubs and Fandom Family Chats, as well as we're going to make some FFC merch for some of the shows we run, like Teen Wolf or Vampire Diaries. We're going to have some fun things for you there. So watch out for that. Keep an eye out for that. And if you are able to, look at our YouTube page, subscribe to that, and keep an eye on our Facebook page. We have Fandom Family Chats. We're going to be making some announcements here in the near future about a big, huge event we've got coming down the pike in June of 2023. So, watch out for that. Get ready to listen to some crazy stuff next week again, and we'll see you real soon.